Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Deepthi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay. How was your vacation?
Oh, it was very nice. It was very, very good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Where you been to?
So this time I took a adventure trip, which I was really excited about. I went on a trekking trip to the Himalayas. So it
Wow.
was so gorgeous, so beautiful, escaping the heat and with cold temperatures there. So yeah, it was very good. There was a bit of disappointment, like we wanted to go up a pass, which was
Mhm.
like 14,000 feet above sea level. But
Mhm.
due to the polar winds this year, the pass had not yet opened. Normally it opens by March, April, but even in May, there was a
Mhm.
lot of snow and you just couldn't trek there. So we just went up to 10,000 feet. So
Wow.
that was a bit of disappointment though, but
Mhm.
still, that itself was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. It's so cold. You have to wear everything, gloves, everything.
Yeah, yeah, and physically it was very exhausting,
Yeah.
very, very exhausting. And yeah, up there we stayed for 2 nights, and that was like super cold. I think it was
Mm.
-2, -3 degrees centigrade.
Mm.
But yeah, like I said, there was a bit of disappointment because I wanted to try the high altitudes. Up to 10,000 is high altitude, but still, acceptable and average.
Is it? Actually, only -2 there. I'm surprised because we in US we go to some places the temperature is minus 20 or something.
Oh yeah, I was in Vermont for
Mm.
a lot of work, and I've been to all those extreme temperatures. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was -18, -20, -27. Ah,
Actually, just 4 months ago or three months ago, I was in Wisconsin project.
mm-hmm.
When my car don't start and it started it for almost 2 miles. It was creaking because engine
Oh,
couldn't work.
oh man.
So afterwards it became little stable. So that kind of temperatures here.
Yeah, here up in the mountains, even at 10,000 feet, we were still at -2, 3, I guess. Uh,
Hmm.
or maybe a little more cold with the wind chill. I think the temperature was -1 or -3, but the wind chill was high because we were super cold. They give us those warm sleeping bags and all, but still it was like very cold.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think one of our project mate, one lady, went to Himalayas for the Shiva temple or something. There's some Amarnath temple or something.
Oh, Amarnath is one, and I thought when you said Shiva temple, that one, the one which is there in Tibet, what is it? Arey with M. Uh,
I
I'm
think
getting the name.
she put the photographs. She went with that society, that guru. Who, I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
So maybe she went with the group. Uh, to-
Mansarovar, yeah, I guess probably Mansarovar.
I think so. Yeah, it's a
Oh,
kind of a.
that's crazy. That's again a crazy trip. Like, yeah.
She 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 actually discontinued the project and went to the trip actually, and she joined that society for 1 year or something as a volunteer too. I mean, I don't know. Now I see
Mm.
her. She's camping in Hyderabad. She's taking some time off. Yeah.
Nice.
So how is this cloud market? Doesn't look pretty good actually right now in US. Is it? What is the? I was told that a lot of projects are getting done in India. Only the leads are from US. And
Oh yes, cheap labor, right? So that's always the case. We have very low staffing, mostly very low staffing in the US, and then they give maximum work to offshore. But of course, the business requirements and all those discussions are done in the US.
yeah.
And But yeah, in the supply chain space, to be honest, the projects are really low because, the supply chain is a very laid back industry. They are not too keen on upgrading to cloud and being so forward technologically. But HR is doing very good, HRMS. Finance is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just that the supply chain industry isn't that, and that's pretty logical also, right? Like manufacturing
Yeah.
plant, just think about the users on the shop floor. They don't want to be so high tech, and they don't want to really go through a training and learn something so high tech.
Yeah.
They're absolutely okay if you even if they're still using their blue screens.
Yeah.
So,
But I don't know, surprised this Dilip has not joined. I think he's calling me just now, 1 minute.
okay.
Hey Dilip.
Hey, are you connected?
Yes, man, I'm able to connect.
I'm getting on invalid online meeting ID.
No. Just I think the regular way. I think you need to reboot your laptop. Quickly do that
No,
and
no, I freshly put it.
then click on the link and put that conference code. That's it. You know the thing.
Conference code UNF A2F
Yeah.
is not working. UNF A2F.
I think it worked for me. Yeah.
Uh,
No problem. It worked actually. It's a conference CONF A2F. Am I right? That's what it is.
yeah.
Click on the link and put that. No. It pops up certain window and put that your details or email and that ID. That's it.
Yeah, I'm trying again and again. It's not working.
That's what I thought.
Oh, okay. Maybe my internet connection is problem.
I
Okay,
think
okay.
that I had problem in the night. Luckily, I observed it and rebooted
Yeah,
my
I'm
router.
checking it. Yeah, I'm having internet problem. Okay, let me try to reconnect my Wi-Fi. Looks like the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Wi-Fi must be the problem. Yes.
Yeah, Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's Wi-Fi.
Okay, we are waiting for you. Just quickly do it and.
Yeah, give me a few minutes. The Wi-Fi is a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's having trouble, so he's trying. Actually, for me also, in US we don't really, everything is on internet in our home. So, PP, are you there?
Yeah. So shouldn't your internet be much better? I mean,
No.
of late I'm hearing.
What happens is the maintenance work or something. In fact, yearly hardly a day or two I may see internet interruptions. But here internet is as good as electricity. It should be there always. Uh, at least for the last 1.5 months, I was busy. I stayed never at home actually. Last almost 5, 6 years, I don't have free time in the project. So now only I got some free time. I'm observing, and I had only 1 day problem. That's it. Yesterday night, for some reason, internet didn't work. I rebooted my router in the morning at 6 o'clock, and I'm good. In fact, I didn't see the messages came through my phone or this thing. Then I thought nobody replied. Tried to call people, calls are not going through. Then I realized my internet is not good.
Honestly, here also there are just no problems with internet at all. It hardly goes down. So that's why when I hear that in the US, if there's having an issue, I would be more surprised.
Actually, my home is almost at the dead end of the street. So I'm the last connection for the whole thing. So sometimes we have problems, but because we are at the end, any problem anywhere comes, it comes to my home. But even then, it's good. I think Dilip is also staying in a good area in Detroit. So I know him for the last 20 years.
Oh, okay.
I know all these guys for a long time. So Dilip and myself, we worked on a project. Yep. I think he just joined. Can you hear us, Dilip?
I think he'll take a minute to connect to the audio. He's not connected to the audio yet.
Yeah. So today you will be, we will have a hard stop at 1 o'clock.
Hi, I'm here.
Yes. Yeah.
Hi, Dilip.
Let's
Good
move
morning.
forward. Yes.
Hey, sorry, I had a bad internet connection. Looks like. Okay.
No problem. I saw a mail
Okay,
where
sorry for the
Asha
guys.
mentioned he cannot join.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, we'll get started.
Okay.
I have a few questions. We can address it later. Am I right?
Sure, or you can just shoot me an email. I saw one email from you.
Correct.
I will respond to it. And because today's session also, again, depends on the pace we go. It could be quite a packed session, mainly because normally itself for inventory, I'm just covering one topic on replenishment and min-max. But cost accounting is a big topic. Normally for cost accounting itself, we take about 3 to 4 days of training. Like that's the proper training that's done on cost accounting. Inventory also 3 to 4 days it takes. So I'm squeezing all of this in 5 hours. So so it's going to be a bit like I'm not going to get into details of a lot of things. We'll keep our focus to what we need to get an overview, and then we can try ourselves a lot of things. I see Dilip has left the meeting. Okay. I think we'll just wait for a while. Till then, if you want, yeah, why don't we discuss if you have any question on top of your mind?
I think I already sent you the 3 questions or 4 questions in the email. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, those are about the infolets, right? I'm going to respond. It's just what the infolet does. So.
Actually, I don't know. In fact, myself and Dilip, we both were unable to. Once a work definition is done, we cannot change the resources on that. I don't know why.
Work definition?
Yeah.
Oh, you can always go and edit.
We are unable to. We are able to edit. Take out material or something, but somehow we were unable to. If you can show us, that would be nice actually.
Sure.
You can take if you want, you can take my routing.
Sure, I'll just pick up the one that I've been using in the system, because if I take yours and if something is not working, we'll have to keep investigating on what it is.
Mine is working pretty well actually, to be very frank. Only it is not unable to change the resource. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, again my internet connection is gone, so I suggest you guys continue, and I will ask for a video to catch up on remaining things. I will be on and off, looks like.
Okay.
So you guys continue, don't hold it. Time is short.
Yes,
Okay,
I know. Thank you. Dipti?
Yes.
Let's move on actually, because we have 6 hours.
Okay, sure.
If you want to start with quality, that's best actually. The inventory and costing could be.
I've prepared the agenda now. We'll just follow the flow. That'll
just move forward, quick, please. Yeah.
So today the first topic I was taking up was on inventory replenishments. In inventory replenishments, we will primarily be looking at the min-max planning, because that was our interest. Because there are multiple things we can do. So here in inventory replenishments, I want to show you how, I want to give you a basics on the screen navigations mainly, where we can view the current supply and demand for each item. So there is a page called Review Item Supply and Demand. And this page will just give you a good summary of what is your on-hand quantity, what supply is expected, and what demand is like going to be outgoing. So it's like the whole netting. What is the plus quantity and what is the minus quantity. So this is a good page for inventory managers to get a control of the stock. So so whenever we talk of incoming supplies, the supplies can be through purchase orders or requisitions or in transit shipments or transfer orders or work orders assembly.
No.
And when,
Good. Yeah, we understand. Yes.
and similarly, the demands could be like of sales orders and reservations or work orders.
I think this is similar to inventory, so.
Yes. But so I just thought we can view this page because we wanted to see what
I think you're not
all
showing any page actually. Are you showing any page?
Right now I'm showing the PPT. Can you see my PPT?
PPT, yes, yeah.
Yes, we will have the demo. We've just started. So first I'm going over the PPT and we'll keep jumping over into the application in between. Okay, and then the replenishments are of these kinds. We can have sub-inventory transfers and inter-org transfers and movement requests. And the movement requests, this is all very basic kind of inventory replenishments, which is very standard. So like I said, in today's session, I will be mainly covering about the min-max replenishment. And these are just like the inventory transactions which are initiated by manufacturing. So when we do manufacturing transactions, manufacturing application updates the inventories interface table with either issue or return or material issue or material completion request, which gets processed by the inventory transaction processor. This is all very standard processing. This is exactly also how it is done in EBS. However, like I said, because we are dealing with all material in, material out of inventories, I've put this thing here, but it's something very basic. Next is the min-max planning report. This is when you want to replenish your inventory, when you have the min-max set up for the item, it can be at the org level or it can be at the sub-inventory level. So you have to, for this, just set up your sub-inventory, associate your item to the sub-inventory, and have, even in the item level setup, have your minimum and the maximum quantities defined, and have the planning method as inventory defined. The planning method is min-max defined in the inventory. We will see a demonstration of this. Okay, so let's go to the application.
Is the min-max planning is launched by the central planning, or it has to be done through schedule request?
It's a schedule request.
Yes, so central planning cannot launch this?
No.
Okay.
So to view the inventory applications, this is our home screen. We can click on Navigator and then go to Supply Chain Execution area and then go to Inventory Management. So here all functions related to inventory and inventory processing can be done in this application. These are the default infolets which are available in the inventory module. And here again, like all Fusion applications, we have a taskbar at the right. So here I wanted to show you the page Review Supply and Demand. Review Item Supply and Demand. So you can view the supply and demand for a particular organization or for a particular item. So if we want to see just in our test org, the org that we've been using for our entire manufacturing activity, and I can just hit on search, or if I have a particular item that I want to view also, Okay, I'm using a finished good, the one that we have been manufacturing. Okay, so here you can see that it says that okay, this is the quantity and this has come through the on hand, and these are the quantities which are coming through the work order. The document type is work order. So whatever is your thing, if there are some transactions which is consuming the inventory will also appear here, which are, so these are the supplies and what is the available on hand. If there was demand also, it would appear here. So this is a overview page for any inventory manager to view.
Where do we see the demand?
It'll appear here itself. You will be able to see like the sales order or
Yeah, this
whatever.
is same as the EBS screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually in EBS there are two tabs. One gives I think you see the demand again is supply, right? Or you see the supply is different record. Really?
Yeah, you can see both here, right?
Here I think it's a different record, am I right? Demand and supply are different records. For the same.
Yeah, same as in EBS, I say.
Okay.
So if there was a demand, it'll come here as a sales order, and then like there'll be a date. Instead of work order assembly, you will see sales order. You will see the sales order number, and you'll see the quantity. So you know that those are the demands. Yes.
So you will see minus quantity for that?
Yes.
Demand?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. I now want to show you on where do we set up our min-max setup. So first I want to do a sub-inventory level min-max setup. I go to setup and maintenance because I'm having the items at the sub-inventory defined with a min-max planning setup. So you go to the manufacturing and supply chain material management, then choose the area inventory management, and go to your sub-inventory, manage sub-inventory and locators. So this is the place we came also to define our sub-inventories. So it asks you to select for which org are you going to view the sub-inventories. Okay, so these are all the sub-inventories which is available here. On the top right, you can see your organization is test org. So say for the sub-inventory stores, I'm just going to click on manage sub-inventories so that I can edit information here. And here I've already associated this item. This is the item I've created for with the planning method min-max. I will also show you that. There's also another item I created which we will use now. This min-max item 2, and here the inventory planning method is min-max planning. So once you select this, you have to enter a minimum and a maximum quantity. I'm giving minimum.
What are the options we have there? Inventory planning. What are the three options? List down.
Not planned and supplier managed.
So, what do you mean by? Can you just do a quick? What is supplier managed?
So these items will place purchase orders when you run the plans. So there'll be supplier lead times and all will be calculated for this, and there will be purchase orders and purchase requisitions placed to fulfill this.
So min-max planning means it's only internal.
What do you mean by internal?
Internal means within sub-inventory movements or within maybe within the same org. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. Supplier managed means it could be either other org or it could be supplier, right? Is it correct?
It could be it should be only a supplier.
Yeah, it is a VMI, right? Same as VMI, right? Vendor managed inventory.
But it's not vendor. Yeah, you can say that. So this material we are going to be placing purchase requisitions on. That's what it means.
I don't think it is vendor managed, Dilip.
Yeah, it's not vendor managed. It's just that you will have purchase requisitions and you will be receiving against a purchase order.
Basically, you're able to do a min-max requisition using min-max planning. You're able to make a requisition from a supplier rather than internal.
Right.
So that comes under min-max planning. That will not come under supplier managed.
I think the UPS.
Okay. No, I think you're right, Dilip. I think then supplier managed is you're right. So supplier managed is the vendor managed inventory with min-max and source type as supplier. This is where you place requisitions.
That's what I was coming to. Source type defined.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So whenever the source type is supplier, that's when it places requisitions on the min-max request.
So,
Yeah.
vendor managed requisition also can run a process, is it, from sub-inventory level?
I've never tried that option. I'm really not sure how.
Okay, anyway, vendor managed is a big topic by itself, so we don't have to
Yeah.
cover that, but let us note that the facility is here.
Very, very high level, yeah, we are trying to.
Yeah.
Okay, move on.
Okay, so you can give a fixed slot multiplier. You know what this field is. You can have a minimum and a maximum order quantity. I'm not using any of this. I'm just doing a simple min-max run, and I'm saving and closing. So just from setup point of view, I'm showing you what setups are required. So we did our sub-inventory level setup, and I want to show you also the item. That's how I set up the item to be min-max planning enabled. So once these two are done, we are good to run our min-max plan. So for our item, we go to product information management.
It's an item attribute, right?
Yes.
Same as R12, yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, you can spend less time on this because all this is similar to each other.
Please show it, yeah.
Yeah, you can just show the screen and then move on.
Yeah.
So here I set the inventory planning method as min-max here, and I gave a minimum and a maximum quantity here. So when you go to item specifications, you go to planning so that you decide on how this item is planned. Okay, that's it. So
this is org level min-max.
Yes, yes.
Are
I'm
you
doing a
giving the-
sub-inventory level.
Are you giving the rounding factors here?
No, I'm not giving anything. You can just play around. You can use order quantity. You can use the fixed lot multipliers. You can use
Order
a lot of
modifiers are there. Yes, yes. Order modifiers are there. Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so now to run a min-max report, it's a schedule process report. So you can go to the schedule process. Remember under tools, we have all the schedule process jobs. So if you go to the tools area and go to schedule process, here we can come to run a min-max report. So click on schedule process and just type print min-max.
Print and min-max, is it?
Yeah, print min-max planning report. This is what the report is called.
No. What thing you have chosen? Can you just go back, please?
This is what I chose. I just gave print min-max and I did a search. So it gave the schedule job process name is print min-max planning report.
Can I do a search on just min with percent, or how do you do search? Suppose I didn't know the word print.
So yeah, so this search here begins with the criteria here is begins with. So it kind of makes it very okay. No, it is contains by default.
It is doing that, okay, because that's very troublesome here because the entire list of reports is here across all modules.
So typically what you can do is go to advanced search. Like whenever you're not comfortable with the search, you know, okay, this one does not have an advanced search, but normally there's a basic and an advanced search. With advanced search, you can play around with a lot of conditions.
Put a percentage and min, you should get it. Percentage and min.
So like I said, the percentage is pretty kind of optional. So again, you can use it. It's not really required because the condition of this search box itself is contains. A lot of search box in Fusion usually defaults to starts with. So I'm glad the schedule process has the contains. Okay, so here you have print min-max planning report. And like because I'm not sure whether there's a min-max or min space max. So that's why I'm just giving the word min. But if you're confident of min-, you can just use that.
Okay.
And
just can you run that process, please? Just quickly let us see the.
Yes, I'm going to run it. This is the demonstration we are going to be doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are all the parameters that you have in a min-max report. You can have multiple options. It's very much the same like how it is in EBS. So I'm not going to go into the details of each of the options that you have, but we can just discuss anything if you want. So I'm just running it for the item.
Yeah.
I'm just running it for the item that I have created. So it was min-max item 2. And you can just give that as the from and the to item, because that's the only item I want to run for. Else if you leave it blank, so whichever is in this organization, in this sub inventory, it will run. And the item selection, I've kept it as all min-max planned items. Otherwise you have more options.
Planning level, please. What are the selections for planning level? Yeah.
You can either run it for the organization or the sub inventory. Like you have min-max at 2 levels, right? The organization and the sub inventory. So I'm doing a sub inventory transfer for now. Restock, yes, no. Restock is again to indicate whether you want purchase requisition information or the movement request. So I'm leaving it as a movement request.
No, restock means it simulates or it really does the thing, because it is not the thing. So just
Yeah, Rao, the restock no means just a report, nothing else.
correct. That's what is simulation. Yeah.
Okay, I'm leaving all these also. Like you can play around whether you want to consider the open supplies, whether you want to consider the unreserved orders and reserved orders, etc. There are a lot of options that you can use around whether you want to include PO supplies. However, so I'm just leaving the default value.
Is exactly as I told. So submit it. Yeah.
Okay, and here submit. So you can note the process number, and in this area itself here you can search with the process ID here.
Where in which search you are searching this request? In fact, yesterday one of my questions is this.
In the same schedule process. So if you go to schedule process, this is the opening page. So if you have the details using a process ID, you can search here, or using status or submission date, using any criteria you can search here. So you see this is a report which is running, and now it shows succeeded. Because it shows succeeded, I'm going to view the report. So just highlight it and scroll down. It just takes a minute to load. Okay, so this is our report which is loaded. So again, select this and click on this download. No, click on this download.
How did you select the record? Click on that.
You just select on this row, so it turns blue.
Okay, right.
So I'm just clicking on this default document. It's going to open the default document. Click OK and it will try to download onto your system. So this is a min-max planning report.
What kind of format we get in the report? Yeah, that's what we need.
You can choose PDF and all also. There are options that you can. So here in the min-max planning report, all you have to mainly see is the reorder quantity. So if you have a reorder quantity populated, it means it is giving you the right values. If you do not have the reorder quantity, if the reorder quantity shows 0, it means your report didn't run successfully. Either you have a setup missing, or there's nothing to replenish. That's what also it could mean, because you have to ensure you're calculating the minimum and maximum, also min-max calculation appropriately.
Where is the report?
This is the report. This what we are viewing is the min-max report.
Can we see the output of the report, please?
This is the output, Rao. See, this is the min-max report.
No, we are not able to see it. We are just seeing min-max report.zip. It's not open.
Oh, you don't see the report?
No.
Okay. Okay. 1 second.
Now we see it. Yeah, we see it now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Scroll down.
So, yeah, this is the report. This kind of the top part tells you all the parameters that we have selected. And here in the min-max report, this is the important thing you have to notice, that there's a reorder quantity.
How do you set up a printer to print this?
You just print it. You just go to your browser options and print it to your default printer.
It?
Yeah.
Can you do auto print to a printer without doing this?
Not something I'm aware of.
This is definitely a requirement, am I right, Dilip?
Was that?
Go print it. Automatically they have, if somebody puts a scheduled report, how they are going to print it? It automatically should be able to print it, the printer, or somebody?
No, you have to choose the option to send it to printer, right? It's a PDF. You can print it.
No. What I'm talking by default printer for this report.
Default printer, no. This is a Windows printing. It's not from the application. It's not from Oracle. This is the regular standard Windows printing.
There is here a print output which I have not used, but I guess this is what you're saying,
Yes,
where you can select, and this is also some other setup which people do, and you can save the output as a PDF or have a printer
That's what
configured. I
I've
know
done. Correct.
in finance normally they do such things. I have never done it in supply chain. Okay, and this will be a standard option in all your scheduled jobs.
Yeah. Actually, notify me when the process ends also. That's also a good option to notify the user. Yeah. Please schedule. How do you schedule this? Just go to.
You go to advanced.
Mhm.
It'll ask you to enter. 1 second, I just have to enter the mandatory fields. Okay. Go to advanced, and here you have the scheduling option. Go to schedule. And okay, the screen didn't load well, but here you have like using a schedule. This okay, now it's showing using a schedule, and you can set a frequency, start date, end date based on your frequency, whatever you want.
Got it. We can move on. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so this was about a min-max planning replenishment, and when you guys are using the application in the inventory, you can just see all these. We have like tons of whatever inventory functions that are available here, but I'm not getting into the details. It's all you can do transfer orders here.
Yeah, I think all these are similar. Let us see if there's
Yeah.
anything that is new.
Can you show the managed transfer? At least anyway, we have to anyway transfer it. Miscellaneous transfer, can you show? I couldn't do
Actually,
it.
manage transfer orders right now we will not have. Like you just go to create inter-org transfer or create sub-inventory transfer, and you can create. It's exactly the same like how you have in EBS. You
Okay.
select whether it's in transit shipment or
Can you give a value for miscellaneous account transfer or something? Because I tried to do that. I couldn't get the account number or account area.
you want to do a miscellaneous receipt?
Yes. Can you do that? Just for
Yeah. Yeah.
basically I
Then you
want
have to go.
values, what you
I didn't suggest selecting any value from the LOV. That's because I didn't do the exact full accounting setup. So whoever has done the accounting setup here, I'm just choosing a default value for now.
Sure.
So I'm just, sorry, let me just show you the navigation. I just went too fast. So here in the menu options, here we have create miscellaneous transactions.
Correct.
And here manage item quantities is where you can just view the item quantities, okay, for each sub inventory and all. Create miscellaneous transactions is what we are doing now.
Yeah,
So select, we want miscellaneous receipt. So here miscellaneous receipt. Use current item cost, okay, yes, or I can say no and put an item cost. You can give an account here, but account is not mandatory here because once you start adding items, you may have to enter the account at the what do you say, the line.
I'm unable to select an account number because I don't know how to select that. That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Okay. So just enter the item. Let me just enter the standard items that we had, the component items that we had created earlier. So standard force, decide the sub inventory where you want. I'm using stores. I'm giving quantity 100. And account, what I do is because I'm just using, I don't have a particular account that I want to select. I just click on this.
No.
Do a search. It gives you one of the available options. I just select this and say okay.
Oh, you selected that. Then you went back and again searched.
No, so I'll walk you through. So this is the search, search like symbol, right? So just click on this. So it will first ask you if you want to enter any value in the company, all the 3 segments that it has. If you want to give a criteria to search, like I said, because I didn't set this up, I just did a blind search. I just hit on search here. I did a total blind search. Like if you see in the segments, none of them are mandatory, right? So I just hit on search. It gave me one combination. And so very typically if it's retrieving a combination, most probably it's a valid combination. So I just selected that and I did okay. Okay, and just do a submit. So this also in the background, it submits a job. The status of the job you can monitor in your schedule process. So just do a submit. And similarly, you can add multiple lines. You can just keep clicking on plus and adding multiple lines. If you're adding multiple lines, it's a good idea to give it there. Oh,
Okay.
we didn't use the cost. You must enter a value for the cost by component. Okay, this is all we could have used. Yes, okay, but you got the idea, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is standard, same as EDS.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
able to select the account. That's the reason I asked. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, now we can move on to our next topic of quality inspection management. This is also very much same as what we have in EBS. So for quality inspection, again, I've put very objective points of what we need to do to configure the system. I'm not getting into the theoretical details of, you know, what quality is and what it is about. So quality here, we can categorize as like within quality management, they're kind of, you can say, two modules. One is called like where you define what all characteristics you want to inspect on. So this is all the quality inspection management, where you define your conditions, where you define the characteristics of the inspection, what levels you want to do your inspection on, and one is where you take action on them. So within quality management, you can kind of say that there are two sub-modules where you again define your problem and where you take action on the problem. So in the definition part, these are the key things that you do. You define the inspection levels, then you define inspection characteristics. We'll get into details of each of these, and the inspection plan, that what all you should be doing. And the key things for an inspection plan is like you can have inline inspections, you can have ad hoc inspections, you can have the samplings, or you can have like 100% inspection on every sample. And then when you take action also, whether they are, you know, conforming to the standards that you've defined, whether they are quality issues, what action do you want to take, all that. We'll just see all this in
What do
brief.
you mean by ad hoc? Ad hoc means independent, without associating to a transaction, right?
Without having an inspection plan, you do a random inspection and you just come here to log the issue. So if you have an inspection plan that do inspection at this level for this quality, for this sample material, you follow that, right? And this is like ad hoc inspection you did without a plan. You're just coming and logging your result. So you did an inspection, you found an issue, you can come and log an issue. If you found some action item that you want to take, you can come and log an action.
What do you mean by ad hoc resource inspection? What do you mean by that?
The inspections can be done at multiple levels. You can have certain item inspections to be done, certain non-item inspections, like where you just want to see whether the resources are working correctly, or whether your work center is running in the say hygiene standards. Okay. Again,
Is it downtime, non-downtime, that kind of a thing, resource inspection?
You can create anything. So here what you define is, you define all your characteristics that you want to inspect on. So if you want to keep downtime as a parameter that you want to view, like something that you want to monitor, that can be defined as a characteristic. And you can have an acceptable level of every characteristic, and then you can mark that did this item have you know, did it have more than expected downtime? If your expected downtime, like a allowable downtime is for 2 hours, did you have more than that? You can have a yes no field. So whatever parameter you want to test or validate or lay a check on, you can define them, and you can define what is the output of it. Okay. So inspection characteristics, they are mainly two levels. The item based, which are coming from your item. So basically product information management or product development, the PIM application gives the inputs. So this kind of enables you, you know, to verify if an item is meeting the required specifications. So these item based inspection characteristics, they have like, normally you will define, like in a business scenario, we'll define like a range of acceptable limits. Like we'll define a range of values. So you could have like, so in item, we define the various attribute groups, and then you can have that for this attribute, the allowable value is say between 1 to 10. So when you're doing your sampling or when you're doing your quality inspection check, you check whether it's falling within that range. Okay.
खड़ा था वो लेफ्ट लेने, हमें राइट लेने के लिए बोल के हम उधर से आए हैं, अलीबाग जाने का रास्ता इधर से है। वो जो हवलदार खड़ा
Hey,
था ना,
Shweta. Hello. Shweta, you.
डायवर्जन
Shweta, I think you need to go on mute. Are you able to? I'm not sure if these guys are listening to me. I'm just going to try and drop them a message.
हाँ एक मिनट, संदीप से 1 मिनट बात। हेलो,
Can you please go on mute?
हेलो
Hello.
1 मिनट। अरे क्या
I think she's. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to try and call her on my mobile. I'm not sure if I have a number.
Yeah, we can hear you, so go ahead otherwise.
Okay.
No disturbance now.
I think it's still not on mute.
Right, but we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so I was saying about the non-item based inspection. These are not coming from the item. So these are non-item based ones are typically not the item. And these characteristics, we can first define the data type, like whether it's a number, character, and again you specify a target value. So even for these non-item inspection types. So these non-item based inspection type can be used for some item parameters also. It's not like a hard and fast thing. And even the resource inspections, they are typically defined as a non-item inspection. We will see this in the system. I'm not going to get into the details of creating an inspection plan and all, but I will show you all the screens where you have to define the inspection characteristics, inspection issues, and the inspection plans.
Actually, these are all called specifications, local and item specifications and global specifications. That's what is R12 terms. Okay.
Okay. Here it's called item based, and even we have an LOV value which kind of tells that the characteristic that you're defining, whether it's an item based or a non-item inspection characteristic.
Move on.
So apart from this characteristic, you also define the inspection level. And the inspection level is again what level you want to define your inspection, and like whether you're doing only a sample, whether you're doing a skip lot, and whether you're doing 100% of the inspection. And then you can also define where you're doing the inspection at receiving, at shipping. So this is what we put in an inspection plan. We first select the plan type. The plan type can be receiving or a resource inspection or just an inventory or a work in progress inspection. So even in work in progress inspections, you can have, where in the work orders you're doing your inspection levels. So, and also, you have multiple things to define where you can even define that in a sampling. If you're doing a sampling kind of an inspection and there's a certain sample that fails, then you can decide to inspect the whole lot. So
Where do you define that sampling technique? This is
I'm going to show you.
Plan. Okay.
I'm going to show you. We'll just, like I said, I'm not going to create plans and submit plans, and we'll not get into too much detail, but I will show you all the screens that you need to create. So here I've also just put up a simple inspection plan example, that how it's used in business. So if your inspection plan is receiving, so and you can also, this is also one important parameter where you select whether the inspection plan is optional or no. So receiving plan can be optional. Then whether the inspection is on the item or for a particular item catalog category, and then what is the level of your inspection, whether you're doing 100%, whether you're doing a reduced level of inspection, and what is your criteria, what all are you going to consider in your inspection, whether we are considering. So if you see here, mostly for receiving, you try to receive, like you use the documents PO, TO, RMAs, you want to inspect them. Okay, and so receiving is like in a use case perspective, it's an inline receiving inspection for tier 1 suppliers of a catalog of components. So whatever is you're receiving from a supplier, you choose to inspect them. And like I said, after if you decide to do a sampling inspection, and if the sample is not good enough, you can even choose to inspect the whole lot. Inventory inspection plans is this where you do generally an ad hoc inspection of materials. Okay.
So this
this
one
is
is
about
only applicable for receiving inspection or for in process also, for work in process? Also this 100% inspection or not 100%? Is it only specific to receiving or for any other inventory and work in process? So you can,
No, it's applicable everywhere. So we have 4 different inspection plans. Once you select the plan, you can choose the inspection level. So whether you want 100% or sampling. So in WIP, if you're doing like you're manufacturing, say, nuts and washers and all, you might not do a sampling of, you might not do an inspection of every item, right? We may do just a sample. And whereas if you have, say, power cords or power supplies, so typically power supplies, you inspect every power supply that it's working, right? So whether in WIP or whether receiving, even if I'm receiving a power supply, again, typical business scenario I'm telling you. Again, you can define all
in
the
R12 EBS, we have only for inbound only this option. That's a different thing called skip lot. Whereas we don't have this for work in process. So you are telling this is there in work in process also.
yes.
Okay.
So you
got
think
it.
work in process in R12 is 100%?
Yes.
Or skip lot. Okay, yeah, skip lot is also the same thing, right? Skip lot is also where you're doing like
Skip
yeah.
lot is only for receiving actually. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was asking this question. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Now let's see the last slide what I have here. I'm just kind of defining what's our quality inspection. You can do ad hoc inspections, which are like standalone inspections, and you can do the inspection randomly, collect the result and feed the result into the system. Inline inspections are when you typically done for receiving an work in progress. And these inspection results are automatically marked as accepted, rejected, because these are inline inspections, right? Okay.
Do you have plans, parent plan and carry plans? You cannot capture all the things in one record. Then will it be, if there will be a child plan, parent plan, that hierarchy?
I have not done so much work to do a parent-child. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether that's. I don't think so, because you can keep them as 2 separate plans. And looking at the screens, I don't think so.
No,
We
no,
need.
no. Independent plans will not work. And second thing, do you have a logs history? Can you do a history of what changes made to your production plan?
What changes made to us?
For example, if I put a record, after some time somebody else will come and you will make changes. So automatically there will be a log of changes put to that. That's called history collection plan types.
Yeah, we have lot of like here, whatever actions you are taking, like if you create a plan, okay, so not always is it necessary for you to create a plan for your inspections. If you create a plan, you can log all your issues and actions for that inspection plan in the plan, and when you open the plan, it will give you every action that you have done. So I think that is what you mean by history. So action is the action you take. Right, I'll show you the screen. Probably it will get a little more clear.
There are 4 types of different types of plans. One is parent-child plans, and another one is kind of history type of a plan. There what you're talking about is the actions. Got it.
Correct. The actions itself is what the series of actions that you have taken. It could be corrective action, it could be any action that you have taken, like scrap action. All that is logged in your plan. So I think that is what you mean by history. But well, just I'll show you the application and then you can see.
This is basically based on action. Other fields get populated, am I right? Automation of populating different fields based on the action.
I'm not sure what. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just take a look at the application. So to access quality module also, you go to the same, like in Navigator, the supply chain execution where we had all our work orders, we have the quality management. Here you can see the icon on top, and here you have like basically just to like manage all the issue types and the action types. So even for this, you first create the type of action that you want to take, and then the types of
Where did you
these are
go?
like lookups.
Where did you go? Navigation. Go to quality management.
So it's the same place where we went for work orders and inventory. So the kind of the module is supply chain execution. This is the topic called quality management.
Got it.
Okay. And then I'm just showing you the options that are available in tasks. These are the setup tasks where you can set up the issue types that you want to define. And these are the action types that you want to define. So these are like the setup levels. Okay. So here I've just defined one quality issue. It could be a non-conformance of the whatever is the standards set. It could be, so in non-conformance, you know, you can log so many type of issues.
Okay.
And then what are the, so these are seeded. These are the seeded. And then what are the exceptions, if you have any exceptions, if there's a design failure itself in the item, or if you have a problem. Okay, so when you log any issue, you can select one among these, or if you want to define your own issue type, say maintenance or testing or whatever. Okay, maintenance is already here, but yeah, anything of such, you can just click on plus and define your own issue type. So it's just a type of the issue classification. Similar is the action type. Like what action?
Can you open the edit mode or insert mode of this issue type?
Yeah, just click on plus.
Right.
It asks you to give the name. Name and label are same.
Label. Okay.
From where you think it's going to originate. Object creation. The code.
Okay. Same fields are showing. Okay. Same fields as the columns.
Yeah.
Label source.
So these are the predefined ones. These are the seeded
what
ones.
Is
okay.
Code? Okay. Code is just a definition identity. Okay.
Code is a unique ID that gets kind of, it's used in all your XMLs and backend operations.
Okay, that's fine.
And what actions do you typically take on you take some corrective actions if you're doing a failure analysis. These are again the seeded actions that are available if you want. So if you see, this is not a seeded action. It's just a test action that we have defined. Okay. Where you define all the inspection characteristics and all is here. So in the right side in the task menu, you did all your setup. So here, if you see on the top, either you can just search for any quality issue, action, plan, whatever. This is like a global search. You can just select your search criteria and search here. So this page is like little differently designed than how the other pages in Fusion are. And this plus, if you just click on the, the drop down, it gives you. So first we define our inspection characteristic. So you can have just define anything, any description. It's an item characteristic or a non-item. So if you select an item, then it tells you, okay, what are the attributes that you're selecting? Okay, you select your item class, then the attribute groups that are associated to the class just pick up here, and you can give whatever values you want to give. Okay. If it's a non-item,
characteristics are specific to org, or is it global?
No, it's not specific to org. It's specific to your item class. So you're using the attribute group for this item class. In your acceptable and non-acceptable values, you can kind of define if you want, if you think they are specific to that organization.
And where you can define that specific to org?
No, you give your target values, right? That what is an acceptable value. So there you can, if you think, firstly, normally item attributes are not org specific, right? If you have an item which is in your inventory,
they're global. Once you define, it's available in every org.
What is defined in every org?
For example, an item exists. The item A exists in X, Y, Z 3 orgs. Then once I define an item spec for item A, it is available in all the X, Y, Z orgs. Is it correct? This is global.
See, it's like typically even in business, your item does not really change based on the organization, right? If an item is designed, it will not change based on the org in which it is. So that's why I won't say that, like, you can't put it as an org, like even functionally it doesn't really make sense. So you can associate it to, like, you can have attribute groups associated, and then you can validate based on that. Now, no matter whichever org that item is, I want that item to be in this particular shape or with these characteristics,
So you
right?
mean to say these
No, but
are
in item master, in item master we have master org, and that flows down to each child org. But in this case, it's not like that. In this case, it's for all orgs, right?
I think so.
Yeah, but yeah, like it is global, but I'm saying functionally, any item specification that I want, if I want an item designed in a certain way, no matter which org I stock it in, you want it in a certain way, right?
Right.
I think
Okay.
Yeah,
your
that's
answer
what
is
I meant.
global. We got it.
Yes,
Global. Okay, got it.
yes.
Okay. It seems to be
Okay.
global, yes. Mhm.
And if you give it as non-item, so what I'm trying to show you is these options of what you define your inspection characteristic will change based on whether it's a item level characteristic or a non-item level characteristic. So here you can define, suppose if I'm doing say testing done yes or no, and I'm doing it like a number, and if I'm doing saying testing is yes, like target value yes is yes, minimum value 0 1, you can just define. It can be a date, character, anything. Okay, so non-item level, you define the data type and you define your acceptable values for that data type.
So when you define item, it's asking for item class. What is item class?
Item class is the classification of the items that you're associating. So remember we saw how we go to root item class. That's the seeded item class.
Okay.
Do we not have item classes concept in EBS?
Yeah. Root and the other, yes. That's right.
Yeah, so it's the same item class. So basically
Right.
it's just to, like, if you have an item class for all your peripherals, so you can have attributes and when you do want to have inspection. So you will have all your
list of values. Yeah. Item class.
Sorry?
Can you open the list of values for item class? Yeah.
I'll just show you all the item classes.
Actually, I'll tell you. This is a catalog. So
No, this is not a catalog. This is an item class.
Category.
Rao, this is new in Fusion, item class. And typically root is the only seeded one and all the others are custom defined.
I think it is PIM. It is in lines of PIM, R12 PIM. Okay. So this is nothing but item category, equivalent item category. Okay.
No, it's not item category. It's a new concept here.
Oh, we don't have item classes in EBS?
No, we don't have. Mhm.
Oh, okay. So basically item class is all to govern your say item setup and default setups that can be propagated to everything in the class. Like I said, you can have a class called peripherals. You can have a class called like miscellaneous. So basically have item, and then you can have templates. So suppose you want like all the peripherals will have, or electronics is an item class, just imagine.
Yeah,
Then all the items.
It is called item class category, ICC, in PIM, Oracle PIM. So basically it is equivalent of a catalog. Okay, got it. Got it. Actually, this is called, for our understanding, we should understand as a catalog classification.
Well, I'm not sure. Let's leave it at that, Rao. Let's not conclude too much.
Yeah, I won't agree to that statement, but sure.
Yeah, correct. Let's not confuse anyone on that point.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so this is how you can just define the characteristics. After you define the characteristics, you might want to define the inspection levels. So what level of inspection you're going to do, 100% sampling or not, sampling enabled, skip lot enabled, that's a simple inspection level. Okay, and now after you create all this, you create an inspection plan, because in the plan you can select the characteristics, you can select the plan, you just give a name of the plan, what type it is. Remember we showed you the 4 types, that it is a work in progress, WIP plan, or an inventory, or a receiving kind, then which org you want to do, whether you want to do for a particular item or for some item catalog. Okay, And then the inspection level here, whether you want 100% inspection, whether you want anything else that you have defined.
Can you do type work in process and put the inspection level? Work in progress.
Work in progress is just defaulted to
I don't think
100%.
it is exactly like R12. It is not giving an option, you see.
Okay.
No, but now this is not the same as quality plan.
This is
Seems to be different.
inspection quality plan. Yeah. So where are the? Let us see. Can we define one plan, please, if you don't mind? Yeah.
So we gave the details of the plan. Now you can give the specifications. It's just that we don't have a lot of characteristics and all defined. So we can just select anything, okay? I'm just selecting random values. Ideally, you would want to have everything, the setup all proper, and choosing the target
absolutely
value.
plan, Dilip.
Okay.
This is a quality plan. Okay. Characteristic is nothing but quality element.
Oh, okay. The elements are here. Okay.
Elements are nothing but called characteristics here. That's it.
So can we define additional characteristics?
Yeah. You can
Okay.
keep on defining how many characteristics you want and what are the target values, or if you think you have a minimum and a maximum value.
Right.
So these are coming from your characteristics that we defined, right?
Okay.
And then you can have some action rules, what actions you want to take, what is allowable action for this kind of an issue. Okay, so it's like if you say, okay, the target value is minimum, then the action can be to scrap the whole thing, or the action
This we
can
have
be to
in EBS.
continue.
We have the target min and max in EBS.
I understand it's exactly like EBS. There's nothing much different. And here
It's
also
probably
you
a little
can
bit more comprehensive, I think, because we don't have that 100%, I think.
No.
is it?
Everything is there. This is really subset of R12. Let me tell you.
Okay.
In fact, I would expect this to be little less mature because quality module came in only release 13.
Nothing. I'll tell you, this is nothing before R12 quality.
Yeah, because this came only in release 13, and after that there's been a year or two and some patches and some features they're continuously adding. So if you see, it's a pretty small
You don't have
module in itself.
parent child. That means it is really not at all that it can handle complex situations.
Also, like here you have a copy plan, that is you can copy this plan to other organizations. So like I said, for items, if you want items in multiple organizations, those plans can be copied to different organizations.
Is there any way you can answer whether parent-child can be done for this collection plans, or can you relate one plan to another plan?
Like I said, I have not seen that. I haven't seen that.
Okay.
This is just the inspection plan, that the page that you see. So
And it's very.
So this is just the inspection plan that you can do. The inspection plan that we just created. This is all the inspection plan. So I don't see an option where you can have a plan within a plan.
Got it. Okay.
So I
Can
don't
you
see
move on to a little bit other area called that the non-conformance? How do you put that? How do you record non-conformance and disposition action?
So here you basically once you have a plan in place, when you're executing your work either in receiving or something, based on the plan it is executed, and you can also choose to come here to log a quality issue or a quality action that you've taken. So when you log a quality issue or an action, you can log it against a plan, or the plan can be optional also. So I'm logging this, that it was a non-conformance during receiving. Okay, you can even, let's choose non-conformance during WIP. So what was the issue? You're typing the issue that quality okay, then which organization was that? This is
So you can log it against a business unit also?
I don't think so. It's only organization.
It's showing you business unit, ABC business unit.
Where
Or
is
maybe that's just the name.
where do you see the? Oh, yeah. There's somebody has
No,
just
but-
given this name. It's
No,
only
okay,
an
yeah, that's a wrong
organization.
name. That's a wrong
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. And what kind of issue you're logging? What's the criticality of it? What was the source? Okay.
Right.
This workflow also, I'm not too sure what it does. I think I forgot what it does.
So this is not against a plan.
This is not against a plan. This is I'm just logging a quality issue.
But no, there is not even an option to record against a plan. It's not showing.
Yeah, I remember that you can log issues against a plan or not a plan. And is it because of this workflow? No. But normally you can log issues against a plan or choose it to be not against a plan.
Actually, without plan, there's no value because you capture all the characteristics of the issue in the plan, am I right?
So when you log a plan, basically you kind of like you can call this like an ad hoc inspection, right? That if you did an ad hoc inspection and you found an issue, you're coming and logging it here, okay? And when you're following a plan, everything is followed exactly how you define your plan. So this is the ad hoc inspection, and then here you can just give. I don't know if this relationship means the parent-child. What you're saying?
No. What is that?
No, it's not that. It's just kind of basically I've just logged a quality issue now, and now in this quality issue, these are the general information. Okay, I can have attachments or anything. Here, what all objects are affected? You can have a whole work center affected. Like there was some, say, some outbreak in some work center, and here I know you can. So did we give item level plan issue? So it's kind of showing us now only item, but here I know you can log like this issue can be against a material or can be against an object. So what are the affected objects? So if I'm writing that affected object,
where are you now actually? Which function is this?
it's the same. The action that the quality issue that we were logging.
You are still in quality issue. Okay.
Yeah. In quality issue, these are the multiple tabs. So like I said, this page is designed little differently. I don't know why they wanted to. So first we were in this tab, which was all the details of the, so here kind of, like I said, always pay attention to the page name. So we logged the non-conformance work in progress. This was our issue type. This was our issue name. So we are in the issue, quality issue page. Okay.
Right.
So this is the general detail. This is the relationship as in what all objects are affected. So it's kind of telling you the affected objects. So if I'm saying my item was affected, I wonder why it's giving you only item. Maybe the other page gives you this. We kind of can say the item was affected, or the whole plant was affected, or the work center was affected.
And this just stays as a record. There's no further action on it, right?
This is just logging an issue. Okay.
Yeah.
We are just
So
logging an issue.
Issues are just in the record. I mean, they can be listed out, but there's no other impact of that. No other use of that.
Correct.
Actually, when you're logging an issue, are you able to pull out a plan and capture more details of the issue?
I remember we could send object, create quality action. So here, see, basically on this issue, what action do you want? You can put it here.
Okay.
Or whether you want to create a change order. And I remember we could log the issue against a plan. I don't see that option right now. Maybe I'm missing something, or
Well, in the EBS, that's a very fundamental thing. Enter quality results. It's always against a plan, and that is the most very central issue of the module.
Yeah, I think if that is not there, then really that is a very basic thing. Yeah, key.
It's very different.
I think
not
earlier
different.
we could.
Definitely, I think we should be able to log against when you are doing the defining a plan. Are you able to associate a plan to a transaction? Work in process is the type associates that with the work in process or receiving.
Yes, because you define all your items and all what you want to, like whether it's a work order or a thing, and then what you want to take action on.
So when you receive an item, for example, if you put in a plan receiving type for an item, whenever that item is received, automatically the plan gets launched from receiving screen.
Yes. So see here, because I said this and this operation, I want to do this plan, whatever is your criteria. I defined
Okay.
there, right?
So during that time, the screen will automatically pop up to enter the data against this plan.
I think I've seen that automatically, in the sense when you click on like next or complete, it kind of tells you that now is the quality check, and even in
Right.
your
Right.
work order you can see that the quality step has come in. So earlier, remember, we could see work operation 10, 20, 30. In between,
Right.
it shows you that there is a inspection step.
So can you
Yes.
make these plans optional or mandatory?
Yes, I did that as an optional here. See, inspection plan is optional. This checkbox.
Oh, you
there's
have,
a
okay,
checkbox.
so you have a setting there, optional or
Yeah.
not. Okay.
Yeah, we have a checkbox. If you don't check this, it will be a mandatory check. If you select this, it will be an optional.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that will probably be the most important use of this. During transactions, it will trigger up a window and you will enter the data there.
Correct. I'm back to this quality issue page, and in issues, you can just write what is the action against this issue. Okay, it's similar to what you want to create a quality action here. It's just that you're not here quality action, you're just creating separately. Say
Right.
these are all the issue types we have. We are doing a test action, imagine. Or let me take something else. It's giving me it's failure analysis.
When you do the action, when you do, what is this? This is really, I'm a little confused. Creating an issue and creating an action and all. What does that mean?
Issue is when you're logging the issue. When you see a problem, you want to log in the system, that's a issue. Action is what action you're taking to correct the issue.
So what is the ad hoc plan versus what is the creation of issue? What is the difference between these?
No, ad hoc inspection. So basically, if we create a plan, the inspection will happen exactly as what you are specifying here, right? Whether you say 100% sampling or whatever, like just check on these three characteristics only. Like I want to just check the color and size, imagine. Okay, the color and size only. So everything will be checked for color and size. Ad hoc is, suppose you just suddenly decided to measure the weight, which is not defined in your plan, and is as a random ad hoc thing, you saw that the weight was not appropriate. So you can log it as an ad hoc issue, ad hoc inspection. It's something basically.
How do you do the ad hoc inspection? Can you just show me one?
See, you just come and log the issue. You have an option to log the issue. You can log an issue, or you can here enter inspection details. This is also one thing. Or you can directly log it as an issue. Both are allowable.
Oh, inspection detail. Okay, what is
the inspection you did? So what inspection is what you have found?
How do you track all these things against an item or a PO? How do you track them? How many issues are there for this item? How many issues are there for the particular PO supplier?
So that's reporting. You're talking about reporting?
Not reporting, at least grouping to find out, am I right?
Or viewing. Okay,
Yeah.
Not report but view.
Yeah. Find them in the system.
I wonder why our orgs are not appearing here. Maybe we don't have some role or
Test org is not showing.
It's highly possible that I didn't give a lot of roles. So I was okay. Test org is showing. No, okay, yeah. Now it's showing when I selected work in progress. Why it didn't show before? Okay. So you're entering the work order. I mean the inspection details for this work order. Say which operation. Here I see the option of logging it against a plan. See, I told you I saw that you could log. So this is an ad hoc inspection that you're logging against a plan. Okay. Now this is the step.
Because it's ad hoc, the plan is grayed out?
No, I think once we select the option and all, it will come in. I don't know why the operation is not appearing, because either this is a standard order something, I have no idea. Okay, maybe that work order had something, because we are not putting all our details correctly. Right. We had our sample data well, and then you can choose which plan you want to associate it to. I don't know why it's not showing me the plans.
So one fundamental point, looks like this entire screen, its various options are both setups and transactions. Looks like all of it is together here. Because a plan
Yes.
is a setup.
Yes. Yes.
A plan is a setup, and recording an issue or inspection details, those are transactions.
Correct.
So we are seeing both here in a mixed fashion.
Yes. Like I said, this page is very differently designed. So
And,
here, once you enter the inspection, you can
We are
kind of,
seeing both from the same thing? Same
So
page?
typically, yes, typically if you remember, most of the setups we go to the setup manager, right? And even this, especially these kind of setup, when you're defining an issue type
Yeah.
and an action type, they're typically in the setup manager. But I don't know why this quality module. I guess the whole idea is to have this independent, and this should be an independent license.
Right.
The-
But also, I mean, this is misleading because you just have got 3 options here, whereas everything else is hidden under search for quality issues. Is that right?
And everything else is hidden under this plus icon. So it is, like I said, the page is
Yeah.
not standard Fusion page, which is misleading. I agree. Even I felt
So
that.
you have to you have to always keep search for quality issues, or do you have to keep anything else there?
So search for quality issue is if you're searching. Right now I'm not searching anything. Like if you know
So
my
that is
quality
being ignored. When you are pressing the plus sign, that search for quality issues is ignored. Is that right?
Correct, correct. This is a
That is
separate
not-
field, which, yeah, this area is a separate area that I don't care about right now.
Because I was getting confused. I thought everything that we are seeing is because we chose quality issues.
No. This plus is independent. It's
Okay.
again,
So this plus is the big thing. The very powerful one is the plus sign there.
correct. And this page, like I said, is not like standard Fusion pages, and it's, I'm sure. it's
But
not
even in
accepted.
this option, you have got setup and transactions mixed.
Correct. Yes.
Even here. Wow.
Yeah.
So this is something to get used to. Yeah.
We need to know about the workflow also. I think that must be having a lot of, it may launch other plans, or that's how it is, one is related to others, I guess. Isn't the workflow is the main linkage between different actions and different plans?
I'm not sure. Probably you can maybe investigate when you're using the application. I didn't investigate much on the workflows, but typically we just create plans, we log issues against the plan, and we have an action item defined. That's a very typical usage when you're using a quality, and the ad hoc logging issue.
Actually, one more thing I want to ask you is, typically the key functionality of this quality is this NCR process, non-conformance reporting, then disposition and corrective actions. Am I right? So how do you do that? Can you show that at least high level?
So we did this during the inspection, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do an inspection, you get to choose. Did we do it during inspection or the other place? I can't recall. Or maybe in the plan it gave us all that option.
Just create one non-conformance and then show the related disposition and corrective action.
No, not here then. We did see that. Was it in the plan?
No, I think it is in the issue, quality issue, I guess.
Could be. I can't recall where it is, but there was somewhere where we could, we had all those options here, non-conformance, design failure, and disposition.
So yeah, so this is under quality issue, right? Okay.
So non-conformance, then how do you relate a non-conformance, disposition and corrective action? How do you relate these three? Related. Just in
I haven't tried this. I mean, I think when you play around with the system, you could try that. I didn't try it myself, so even if I start doing it now, I'm sure I'll be spending a lot of time. So, but the key idea here is that if you also create, like along with the work order, with the work inspection plan you create, it will be syncing with your work orders and with your inspection receiving and all. Like I haven't played with the option that you were mentioning.
Yeah. Actually, these are all the key functionality anybody will ask actually from college.
This is a fairly new module, so again, it's highly possible it does not have a lot of features. And also, I have not implemented this module for a customer because we didn't, like when we implemented manufacturing, this quality module was not released. We could just define the, what do you say, the target values and the acceptable values. That's always what we could do when we had implemented
You
manufacturing.
do one thing, you go to left and non-conformance, can you relate it to an item or a group of items, to a resource or a group of resource, or what are the kind of things you can impacted area? Of an
In the
outcome?
quality issue,
Yeah, just create a non-conformance. What are the different types of non-conformance? First of all.
here,
Yeah, you saw the list of values, right?
No, can you just open, just keep it here a minute, yeah. Inspect the work in process, just go ahead with the work in process. Then name, give some name, yeah. Quality testing, just test all. Then, so manufacturing, manufacturing, I think you should go for manufacturing.
these are the workflows which I haven't played around with.
Oh, okay.
Expected one minute, right? Pre-approval quality.
These are seeded, right?
Any seeded workflow is there in this?
These appear to be seeded. The
Take
ones
some
with
seeded.
other.
No, workflow with review. Just take it issue with workflow with review, yeah. And save and close, yeah. What it does.
And I will give you all the options that you can add.
Then go back here. What you got?
Okay, so here you can put what are the affected options because of this, like what items is affected objects.
Affected items are there?
That is what we are adding right now. The affected object we are adding. This also I've seen. I don't know why it doesn't.
Where did you add? Actually, I couldn't see that. Where did you get that option?
So why didn't it show up in the affected objects? You chose it, right?
Yeah. So I just clicked on plus. I don't know. This didn't work earlier also.
Structures. Actually, go to the structures. Affected objects.
Where structures you want me to go?
Somewhere structure option has come.
So I don't know why this doesn't get added.
Okay,
here.
that's fine. If it's not working, that's fine. So Rao, it looks like the non-conformance is a sub-part of quality issue.
I think so. Very, very basic functionality opinion. Actually, people ask for very basic relation between non-conformance, corrective action, disposition, and corrective action.
Well, we saw non-conformance, but we could not see disposition and action, right?
Yeah.
I saw that disposition also somewhere.
Okay.
So here you can log. This is the workflow of what you're logging, and then this is like if you have seen similar issues in the past. This is like maybe the history. What you mean? I'm not sure.
So what is the workflow doing?
Whether the issue is first you create an issue, I guess, in draft status. I guess like I said, I haven't played around much with this.
So what is the purpose of the workflow? Is it like a series of steps that we need to do afterwards?
Actually, we took a workflow review and approval. So what it is giving is life cycle of 4 steps: draft, open, in process, and closed. I think you get a ability to notify people for approvals and all those things. I guess. Yeah.
So we can customize this workflow?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be the idea. That should be the idea. I haven't played around with workflows at all, so I won't be able to really help you with these workflows.
So workflow is applicable to an issue, correct?
Yes.
Can you click on the actions on approvers? Underneath approvers, there's an action. Can you open that?
It's grayed out right now.
Yeah.
So for this issue, if we log the action, I think this is where I saw this position now. I know.
Oh, okay. So this action is against the issue?
Correct. So when you do actions and create quality, when you do actions and create quality issue, create quality action, this action is against the issue.
What is change order? Against, do you know what is the change order under action?
When you're creating a change order, for because of this action, you're creating a change order.
So you have an engineering module?
Engineering module?
Yeah, in Oracle, change order is within the engineering module.
It's in the PIM. I thought it's going to integrate to PIM and have a new item created.
It is PIM integration. PIM
Yeah.
engineering is totally in cloud. Engineering went under PIM.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know it's called engineering. That's why I was doing. But this change order is creating a new change order for your item.
Actually, I opened film screens last week, so I saw engineering is totally captured there.
Okay.
There is no engineering module in cloud.
Oh, okay. So it fills in all the details for the change order. No, but change order may require some more details about what changes are being made, right? So this will just open another screen further to enter more details about the change order?
I'm guessing the further details you will have to go to PIM and manage there. This will create a change order in the PIM module, and the product design engineer will have this change order on which he can work. So okay, it is created.
Oh, it does open a new screen. Okay.
Yeah.
It opens a new screen. That's what I thought, because change order is a big functionality by itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this just gives you a starting point for the change order. Okay, change order also has a workflow, looks like.
Change order workflow is, yes, always there, huh? Oh, you have so many options here that you can check out.
Yeah, I think leave it there because it's a big subject again. So
yeah, so it initiates the change order, and then you have got to do everything else that the change order requires, which we are not covering today.
I think after we do this, it's exactly what the change order whole request flow does.
Yeah,
whatever is in that module, correct.
Correct.
Yeah, only one thing I want to know here is how do I know what are the against a quality plan, what are all the things got recorded? How do people can view what POs are under inspection logged, what kind of defects?
Okay, I didn't capture it. 1 second.
Yeah, viewing all the entries against a plan or viewing all the issues, those are standard features in EBS. We'd like to see how that's done here.
I saw a screenshot of it. Wait, I don't even know now how to go there. So I think if we have a plan is what we search here for. Okay, these are the plans that we have.
Such one plan, yeah.
Okay, this is the plan that we created.
You see, in the setup mode, I guess you are not in the query mode of transactions.
Yeah, but both are together here, right? So
no, but she cannot go. I think she has to I think the navigation basically it is. See, this is the plan.
No, that option is not showing here. There is no option to view the results.
I saw one of the screenshots, so maybe I'm not in the right screen or something.
Telling it, yeah, it will be.
I guess I'm not in the right screen or something.
Yeah, okay, let's leave it. That's fine.
I've seen a screenshot of where you capture the results.
Yeah, actually, we need to know that, Dilip. That's very real. Otherwise, you cannot see.
Right, I know, but we don't have any immediate answers, so that's why. Oh, what is this screen? What was
no, I just went to the work execution screen to see if there's something here.
Oh, you're in work. Okay, you switched the module. Okay, that's why I was wondering whether these should.
Can you click on this rework? Under rework, there is two orders, can you just go there and then can you just, oh, there's a work order execution. Okay.
Like I said, I haven't used this module enough, and
No, that's fine. Let's go ahead.
but yes, I did see a screenshot of where all the results were captured, and they were all, like you said, all historical information also. And I thought
Yeah,
it was
if you
right
can
here
see
in the
it,
plan.
find it later, you can send us an email or something and let us know.
Yeah. Please send it.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do
Okay,
that.
that'd be good.
I'll try to figure out, because I've seen a screenshot where it, all the date wise, it's capturing all the
Yeah, correct.
things. Okay.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This was kind of the end of the quality module. Our next module is the cost management. So before we begin this, do you guys want to take a 5-minute break?
Is it 5-minute break or half an hour break?
We can take a 5-minute break now and then break for lunch or a long break, say after an hour. We typically take, after an hour, we take an hour's break.
Well, optional for me, up to you. If you need it, that's fine.
If you want, we can take half an hour break right now and continue until end.
No, that will be too early right now. Let's take it at the usual fixed time.
Mm-hmm.
And then right now, if you don't need it, let's continue.
No, 5 minutes. Let's take 5 minutes break and then come back.
Okay, sure.
Okay, sure. I'm just leaving this call as it is active. I'm just muting myself, and I'll be back exactly in 5 minutes from now. Okay?
Okay.
Sure.
Thanks.
Hello. Hi, Dilip.
Dilip? Yeah.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Yeah.
One second, I'll just be back in a second.
Seen the election results?
Was that?
Election results in India.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about it later.
Yeah, sorry. So even in cost management, like I said, this is a very big topic, and typically this training is conducted for 3 to 4 days. So what I did is to squeeze in every concept that I can explain you of the capabilities and the offering here. I'm not going to run a lot of transactions on this because it needed all my items to be set up. I needed to match the cost. I did not get into the details of all that because that's all that is. The end output and the input is going to be very similar to what it is in EBS. Of course, the structure is a little different, which we will discuss. We will also discuss on the capabilities of this module and what all it can perform. Okay. So here we set up first a cost org. So whenever we start the costing, we also do a cost org setup. Then a cost org is a group, is like an organization, not really it necessarily mapped to a single inventory org. It's just what all you want to cost, like instead of creating, so basically like a reusable concept. So if your parameters are same for multiple inventory orgs, you can choose to create just one cost org.
Hello. Hi, Dilip.
Dilip? Yeah.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Yeah.
One second, I'll just be back in a second.
Seeing the election results?
Was that?
Election results in India.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about it later.
Yeah, sorry. So even in cost management, like I said, this is a very big topic, and typically this training is conducted for 3 to 4 days. So what I did is to squeeze in every concept that I can explain you of the capabilities and the offering here. I'm not going to run a lot of transactions on this because it needed all my items to be set up. I needed to match the cost. I did not get into the details of all that because that's all that is. The end output and the input is going to be very similar to what it is in EBS. Of course, the structure is a little different, which we will discuss. We will also discuss on the capabilities of this module and what all it can perform. Okay. So here we set up first a cost org. So whenever we start the costing, we also do a cost org setup. Then a cost org is a group, is like an organization, not really it's necessarily mapped to a single inventory org. It's just what all you want to cost, like instead of creating, so basically like a reusable concept. So if your parameters are same for multiple inventory orgs, you can choose to create just one cost org for the multiple inventory orgs that you have. Here the key thing is that the cost orgs are very specific to your ledgers. So here in by ledger in Fusion, under ledgers there's a concept called business units and profit center business unit. So that is under which you define a cost org. I have put a graphical representation after this slide, and I'm sure it will make that more clear. I know this concept of profit center business unit, which is also called as PCBU. I think that is new in cloud. That is not there. It's just to report financial transactions to a business unit. It's the same concept like an operating unit. And here I've listed the key characteristics of a profit center business unit, the PCBU. So like an operating unit, the business units can be compared to operating units in EBS. Here the PCBUs report to one single entity. So every one entity will have one PCBU underneath it. And this is just for your product pricing investment. Like I said, this is just like a logical layer.
Each org will have its own PCBU?
Not each. Under the ledger, you is going to have one PCBU. Okay. Basically, when you do a business unit setup, it's just a little checkbox that okay, this is a profit center business unit. Okay, and these are the key characteristics. Sorry.
One per legal entity. Got it.
Correct.
So a profit center must have only one cost org?
No. Under the profit center, you can have multiple cost org, multiple inventory orgs.
Okay.
But the whole idea of a PCBU, like I said, these are the characteristics. So like when you do intercompany trade transactions, it's typically used in, like whenever I've used it, I've typically, the main use is when you do inter-org, what do you call them? The
payables and receivable.
No, what do you say when you're transferring between the operating units?
Yes, IRO, ISO.
Cross, yeah. The cross intercompany. Oh, sorry, I meant the intercompany. Yes, right. The intercompany when you do. This is for that. And this is all for financial reporting mainly. Okay?
Right. Okay.
So I know there would be a lot of curiosity about what a PCBU is, so I will just listed all the points here that you can.
Yeah, this is a new concept, yes.
And this is like just to give you an idea, okay. Here you could have multiple cost orgs too. That's again based on all your costing setup, like how you want to cost and have a item. So under legal entity, typically you have business units. You can have multiple business units in this layer. So one of them will be the PCBU. One of them will be marked as a profit center business unit. So when you do the shared business unit concept, right, this is also used there.
So is there a relationship between the non-profit center BU and the profit center BU? Or
No. There's no
they're all
relation.
independent?
Yes. That would be like a, another bubble here on the right.
So non-profit center BU, how will that can also have the same things underneath?
Yes. It's just a business unit. Okay. So like it's just an operating unit. Out of them, we can mark only one of them as a profit center unit. And this is all, like I said, for financial transactions, financial reportings and all.
Oh, so one legal entity can have only one profit center business unit?
Correct.
Really? Okay.
And then this cost org is like a logical org. It can have multiple inventory orgs underneath it, or it can have only one. You can choose to have one cost org per inventory org too.
Yeah,
That's however you want
typically,
to design.
people do not have multiple cost orgs. They have one for each inventory org.
So
they do not share.
One PCB can have multiple cost orgs?
One PCBU can have, correct, it can have multiple cost orgs. Okay.
But this one I am not fully convinced that a legal entity can have only one PCBU. Not fully convinced on that point. But let's see anyway.
Okay. Okay. Then under the cost org, these are the setting up of a cost org and the structures. You have a cost book. The cost book is a framework within which your accounting policies you define, and you can define different cost books for each of your financial accounting, management, reporting purposes.
So it's something like a fixed asset book? The concept is similar to a fixed asset book.
Somewhat, yes. So the inventory organizations that get assigned to this cost org, they all belong to the same legal entity. Okay. So of course, I mean, with the hierarchy, you should have understood that. And you can have multiple cost books to a cost org because that is used to calculate your cost using different rules. Suppose you want to have different rules of calculation. So you can have multiple cost books also in a cost org.
Right. Like, yeah, that's as an FA, yeah.
And then you have
multiple cost books within a cost org?
Yes, you can have multiple cost books within a cost org.
Yeah, typically one is for a tax purpose and one is for internal purpose and so on. So you want to make a different transactions, different interpretation for the tax purpose.
Exactly. So that's basically the same set of transactions. You can view the cost differently if you define them in different cost books. So it's one cost org and you have two different cost books in that. So the same set of transactions which is there in your inventory can be costed differently and you can have a different view of the cost structure.
Right.
Okay. Then we have a concept of cost org sets. This is just same like any set that you have, like you have this common set and enterprise set, right? The set mainly is to streamline your setup process and just so that you don't have redundant setup and redundant data, right? So all the data that are defined with a particular cost org set is shared among each other. So it's just like the common set concept that we have. So so typically when you have setups like cost profile, you have validation structure, valuation structures, and cost elements. You can share the cost elements across the same organization set. It's just like a data encapsulation, you can say, like putting all the data in one.
So it uses the setup across the various orgs.
Correct. So you don't need to do redundant setup of the same thing.
So these cost organization sets are assigned to cost books?
Correct. Basically these all roll up to cost org and cost profiles, and we'll see the setup of each of these. But so all of these are related.
Yeah, so the cost organization set is only useful for the setup, right?
Setup, yes. So it's not kind of, I can't say associated to one particular cost book. They all roll up to the cost org and cost profiles.
Is it global or this one is specific to one legal entity or a PCB?
Everything is under one legal entity, then one PCB. So this hierarchy. So there will be one PCBU, one here. It'll roll up to this hierarchy.
Oh, you could have shown actually under cost org. You could have showed one more bubble with
No, that is only for helping you in your setups. It's not in practice, it's not for transactions, it's got no impact. And this is the same as the common set which we use in receivables and payables and stuff.
Correct.
Stuff
Exactly.
Like that, right?
It's just like it's just to avoid redundant data, redundant setup. Okay, so that
Right.
you can share the setup across the set. Whatever is your cost org set, you share data, the setup data within the set.
is it optional step?
No,
Yeah, it is.
you need to define the org set.
At least one?
So you have a seeded org set that you can use,
Okay.
but I can't 100% recall if it is optional, but I always define an org set. It's I mean, I think it's always there. So
You may
when we
not
do
use
the,
its benefits. You may not use it actively, but
yeah, in the background it's used and it's kind of very helpful then. Okay, so when you're doing a cost org setup, okay, I've just listed like in bullet points the setups that we do. We set up the cost book, we set up the cost org set, then we associate an inventory org to the cost org. So here again, you can associate multiple inventory orgs, but again, you should be within the same business unit. This is again very common, and you can associate them to the single cost org. Here basically it's to group like the costing responsibilities for all say suppose we have put 3 inventory organizations under the cost book. It's like the inventory organizations, they all follow the same set of rules. Okay, that's when you define here, and you can also have cost sharing feature with this, whatever association whatever inventory org you associate under this. Like if there are items, you know, which are belonging to more than one inventory organization and they all have like say average costing. So you can group those inventory organizations also under this, under one cost book. Sorry,
so
one cost
several,
org.
yeah, so several cost orgs can be assigned to one cost book also. Mhm.
Can you show us the first structure, please? The slide.
The previous slide? This
Yes.
one?
Yeah. The previous slide. The structure, the bubbles, what you showed. Yeah.
This is the bubbles. Yep.
One minute. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, so if you have like these 3 inventory orgs which have some items which are common among these and they have the same costing method and all, you can put them under one cost org. To avoid having 3 cost orgs and maintaining 3 cost orgs, you can define all these 3 under one inventory org. Sorry, one cost org. Okay, all these 3 inventory orgs under one cost org.
Is it this cost books define whether it's the average costing, FIFO, or standard costing?
Yes.
So
You'll see all of that.
So the cost books define that, am I right?
Yeah, we will associate, even when you do a cost org setup, you set up cost book and you associate that to your cost org.
So cost book defines average cost or FIFO or FIFO, everything, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
We will see all of that now.
Got it.
So this is, like I said, it's a serial setup you do. Then you assign the cost books to the cost org. Okay. When you assign, like every cost organization definitely must have one cost book. Okay. And I think it's just repeated the sentence here.
Yeah, it's repeated.
You can also have several, like you can have multiple cost books also, but there's generally one primary, like you have to have one primary, and this is just for your profit tracking, inventory items and all.
Right.
Okay. There's also, like I said, it's a huge concept. I kind of can't even relate on what all I should be displaying here and what all I should not. But I'm just putting up all these setup things here that we can just go about and investigate ourselves. So there's something called also as cost policies. Okay, so when you, again, it's cost policy is basically nothing but you define certain cost elements, and those cost elements you can group them into certain cost policies, and this cost policy must always, like you'll have always items underneath this, and all the items which have that cost policies follow the costing process. Okay, so here we'll just go step by step. The cost element is the level at which costs of the item are tracked. At what level of the items that you want the items cost to be tracked. Then cost components are most granular representations of the item cost. Like what all in the item cost do you want to track, you define them as cost components. These cost components are linked to these cost elements, okay, which help you track these, calculate these costs for these items.
Any example of that cost component?
I am blank.
Okay,
This
then
module, you know, this module is actually very, I don't know, it's very difficult for me to explain. But when you do a setup, you know, it's a serial flow that you just have to follow. So doing the setup is not too difficult, but I mean, of course it is. The costing is a complex module, but explaining all this is really challenging, and it took me quite a bit of time to set this up. Okay, and once you do this, all this rolls up to your item cost profile. And in this item cost profile, we have to associate items, otherwise they don't get costed. And
so what is the hierarchy here? What is the hierarchy here?
Just see this image, okay? So you have cost components and cost elements. They kind of get into a group called cost component group, and those is associated to your item cost profiles.
Okay, we'll have to see this in practice. Let's not. Let's actually see it, and then we can ask more questions.
No. This figure is shown in a reverse way. Cost profile should be at top level, and then cost components and cost.
No, Rahul, let's understand it before questioning it. Come on, let's go through this.
Component and elements are more granular, right? So the granular level I've just shown, basically whichever way you view it. Your key objective is to define an item cost profile. Okay, in item cost profile, you're kind of telling what all are your costing elements and what are the components that you have to cost.
I think the reverse way makes sense. So this is the granular level.
Let's see it, Rahul.
Don't
jump to conclusions. Let's see it, and then we can ask questions.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be very and you know, this even the complexity of this module more was there are various things you can do in costing, okay, and then related to manufacturing, how you define. Okay, I think cost elements we define as our resources and as our material. Okay, so yeah, I've put them into. So first I've defined so what the logical flow of my PPT is going to go. First, I have put costing module as an independent module, and I'm just telling you all the setups for it that you need to do for costing. And then I've just gone little specific and put up some things about costing for manufacturing, because our key focus for this whole session is manufacturing. Because like I said, costing is a big ocean and a big module in itself.
Yeah.
So you'll have to be patient, and it's like I said, it's a little complex thing.
It's not that we are amateurs. Actually, we did a lot of costing implementations. Is it to follow the GAP principles? GAAP?
I think I read that somewhere. I'm not too sure. I probably am not an expert like you guys, but yeah. So
Go ahead. Yeah.
And why I went into a little more detail, or I won't say detail or whatever, why I explaining more is I've heard that the costing here is very different from how it is in EBS. That's one more reason why I'm stressing on a lot of things. If you think it's the same, perfect. I think that's even my job easier.
We need to go through this in detail, yeah.
Yeah.
So trying to understand actually, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, the analogy you can only tell me the comparison to EBS and all, because I've heard it's very different, especially this cost or cost book, all this is very different is what I've heard.
So where is resource in this cost element? There is no resource or outside processing?
You can have those. You can have all that outside processing and all you have multiple options in here, which I've not, like I said, I've gone into certain use cases, but once you start doing it, yes, you have outside processing, you have contract manufacturing.
But you have they are seeded, right?
Yes, they are seeded, and I didn't touch those. Like I didn't like my presentation will not cover up on outside processing and
No, but resource also.
content.
Resource is a very important one. Resource.
Resources there. I think resources are there. It comes as like overheads will capture resources or something because resources is there.
Right.
You do cost your resources. That's a very important thing.
Actually, resource overhead is different than resource actually. So
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
correct.
that's there.
But that's grouped
It's
under
there.
overhead.
Yeah, no, maybe it's grouped under material. I'm a little fuzzed myself, but yeah, we'll see it. But resources are there, and these are the seeded
Typically,
costs.
overhead is of two types: material overhead and resource overhead.
Correct. You can define both of them. So overhead has both of them, and resource rates are also there. Like I said, I will not be able to call out where exactly it is. So, and you can define furthermore cost elements yourself too. These are the seeded ones. One is material, one is overhead, one is profit and inventory cost material, which is used to track the internal margins when the costs are transferred. Okay, and one is an adjustment cost element. So most of these are self-explanatory. I've put in a slide, a screenshot here. Like I said, I'm not going to do each of these transactions onto the screen. They involve a lot of setup and a lot of tallying. So I've put screenshots from various applications just so that it helps you give a view on what is the capability of this module. So this profit and inventory, because we want to see where the materials are being transferred, you'll have some source cost elements and you can have the destination cost elements. So these are the cost elements that you assign, that you define in your different organizations, and you can kind of map them to the different, your source and the destination organizations. Okay.
So that's related to transfer pricing, I think.
The transfer pricing is also a big setup in itself. But this is for the costing.
What is the adjustment cost element?
Where you're adjusting the amount. So we can, there's also a module called cost planning. Like you can see the cost views and you can see a estimated cost, and if you want to make any adjustments to it, like if they are how do you say adjustments, if they are this plus or minus that you want to do, like ad hoc, I can call it ad hoc.
Is it for example, if item cost is $10, one item A in 3 orgs, then do you think that is applies to same item cost applies to 3 locations, 3 inventory orgs, then you can have common cost org for it? Or if items costs are different in different orgs, then you have to have a different cost org?
So cost org, when you would decide to have the same cost org, is when your costing methods and the items are same. So suppose you want to have the same cost. See, item cost can keep varying at every different point, right? So item cost in specific is not important. Today the same item cost can be something, and later on with netting and all it can be different.
That's understood. No. My point is if it has to come under same cost org, so item A will cost $10 in item A in org X, and it should cost same thing in these Y and Z orgs? Or
no, not necessarily.
These elements are specific to each cost org. Or so.
See, not necessary the item cost will be the same in org 1 and org 2. It's not necessary that the cost, like the $10 will be the same. Okay, but your calculation method, your cost element, those are same. So when your core setup is same, I can choose to have one cost org. If my core setup is itself different, okay, then I might want to have a different cost org, because these elements are defined for your cost org. So
no, but I think the item must have the same cost. If all the orgs are in one cost org, the cost is maintained in the cost org and not values in the cost org.
So what
irrespective of whether it is in org 1 or org 2.
I think another question, clarity.
No, let her answer that. No, Rao, please stop. Let us finish this topic first.
No. Dilip, you cannot say that. Please stop that.
No, I'm asking one question. You're not waiting for her to reply.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, Deepti, that cost org is the level at which the item cost is maintained. So organization 1, organization 2, if they're both attached to the same cost org, then they should have the same cost at any point of time for that item.
No, I don't think so. So
Correct.
so if you have different overheads, the item cost value can change. Like when you say the $10, the $10 value can change between org 1 and org 2. The
Okay.
process on how you derive to that $10 will be the same.
Okay,
Okay,
let us
because-
see it then. That's fine.
Yeah, so suppose if I have average costing and I have the same cost calculation method, everything, my process to arrive at the value will be the same. That's when, because I'm using the same cost org, but value within each org can be different because it all even depends on your on hand. It all depends on your transactions cost, right? You can have more
Okay.
transactions in one, less transactions in one.
So indirectly, my question is, I think some clarity has come in this discussion, but I think when you are defining cost in a cost org, when you are defining these elements, there is one more additional element called org. That's how
One more-
cost can be different for each org. For
Org is not an element.
Cost is not an element. Elements are these, like what material, what overhead. So it could be, right, like you have some extra overheads in one of the inventory organizations. That's when the
Correct.
item cost. So it's to store the same material in Seattle, maybe weather condition or maybe some other thing, I have a higher cost. But the same material, if I'm storing it in Dallas, I could have a different cost, right? So the cost, that is the dollar value of the cost, can be different in different organizations. It's just that my calculation method is the same.
Actually, can you define a custom, for example, under material, can I have multiple custom material elements? And like overhead, can you have different elements?
Correct. That is the cost components and all that you saw here. So these are the little components that you have
Oh, okay,
associated.
okay. Now I understand.
Yeah.
Cost component is called sub-element in EBS.
Oh, okay. So see here, if you just, okay, now let's reread this. It will make things clear. So what is cost element is where the cost of items are tracked. These are the cost elements: material, overhead, adjustment. Component is the more granular element of a representation of item cost.
It is called
And the
sub-element in EBS. Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
sub-element or is it cost element only? But you define, user defined, am I right? Under the type of that material, overhead, that will have different structure underneath that, granular, am I right?
So, okay, like in EBS, yeah, maybe you guys can just discuss what it is.
No, actually, it's like this. Let us not compare with any EBS or anything. So you have standard 4 elements, am I right? Called cost element, what is that called? Material, overhead, and some profit and adjustment. Underneath which we can, based on that org requirement, we can define material can have 3 material elements called material 1, element 1,
Correct.
material element 2, 3.
Absolutely
Overhead can have
correct.
multiple. Am I right? So that
Absolutely
structure,
correct.
that granular structure can differ from each inventory org, or is it should be same to the specific org?
So this setup is at your cost org level. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want your elements to differ at the cost org level, you will define all the elements. So at the, where's my figure? Okay, at the cost org level, I will define the elements of this, this, and this. The element for the same item X in this can be 0, but that element's value over here can be $2. Right? The elements, if you're sharing the cost org, you have to define all the elements and the components here. Okay. So I think now with all this discussion, now if you see here, the cost components, these are mapped to cost elements, which enable users to calculate item cost at different granularity levels. So component, like you rightly said, can be understood as level 1, level 2, level 3, which is of cost elements. So you can have material in level 1, level 2, level 3, like different granularity levels. I could have material cost at a work center level or at an organization level, right? So or at a particular work center, which can be like level 2, and level 1, the broader level, is at the organization level. Correct? So like a small example, same overhead. If there could be an overhead particularly in a particular work center, or I could have that overhead defined for that entire organization. So whenever material is there in this inventory org, you have that overhead. And when you have, or I can have the overhead defined at a work center level, that whenever the work is being done in that particular little work center only, I add the overhead. But if the work is done in this particular work center, I don't add the overhead. So those are all your granularity levels.
I think still clarity is not there, but I think we have to move forward to understand better. Okay.
Yeah. But don't worry, this is a little overwhelming topic. And like I said, that it's too difficult for me to even put it in here. Okay. And then, because there's too many elements, like you just see, we saw cost component, cost things, and now there's a cost profile. Okay. So this cost profile, it defines all your cost accounting policies for the item. Okay. There is a cost processing engine which refers to these cost profiles to calculate your cost and cost accounting distribution. So this distribution concept is exactly the same like how it's in EBS. The distributions and the inventory transactions, the distributions that it's created. Only this part is exactly the same. It's just that the process to arrive to this distribution is a little more, like in Fusion, they made it very modular. So they made it modular that multiple inventory orgs, you can have only one costing defined. That costing is cost org. Okay. And then to have different views of the cost, you have two different cost orgs under the same PCBU. It's just a view. You can have one with standard cost, one if you want to just view a perpetual average or whatever. Okay. So here, each item in a cost org requires a cost profile so that you can calculate your transaction cost. It is required. And cost processor is nothing but an engine. So here I am showing you the default cost profile, and the default cost profile can be like expense. You can have an expense cost profile. You can have an asset cost profile. So just see this little screenshot. Like I said, I didn't get into all the setups in our system, but looking at these screenshots, you guys should be able to use the application. So you create a cost org, you create this cost book for this particular category. I will show you all the setup screens. We will see each of the setups individually. It's just that the whole fort we are not building. We are just showing you the entire fort, how it's built.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's also something called as evaluation structure. It again defines the level at which item costs are maintained.